Vsauce, Kevin here with a game that starts out easy but quickly becomes impossible. You can be the best in the world at it and still not get very far. Here, I'll show you. The goal is to get one of these checkers to the other side of this line. Haha! I win! I just won an impossible game, right? Wrong. Kinda. I won the baby level, but it gets a lot more complex than this. Your goal is to get these checkers as far over the line as possible. There are hardly any rules. You can use as many checkers as you want. And actually, I got some empty spaces here. This checker set only came with 30, and that won't be enough for my needs, so I'm not gonna use these. Hit, loop. I'm gonna use poker chips. There's no limit to how many you can use, you just have to place them under the line. Chips can only jump other chips. They can't just slide forward to an unoccupied space. You can't just do that. They also can't jump diagonally, but they can jump both vertically and horizontally. So at least we got some of that sweet sideways action. And when a chip does get jumped, it gets removed from the board. Like that. That's it. Welcome to Conway's Soldiers. Oh, and this is a one-player solitaire game. Solitaire is any one-player game, not just the card game, so get ready to social distance your little heart out. In the beginning of the video, I used 2 checkers to get to level 1. It's almost just as easy to get to level 2 using 4 checkers. It only takes 3 quick moves, and we've ascended to new heights. Well done, yet still not all that impressive. Getting to level 3 is where it starts getting interesting. In 1961, mathematician John Conway invented this simple chip game to prove it wasn't as trivial as it appears. We can think of the chips as soldiers trying to figure out how to penetrate as deep as possible into enemy territory. Getting to levels 1 and level 2 wouldn't take a whole lot of soldiers or sophistication, but the deeper those soldiers try to go, the harder it'll be to arrange. Actually, it doesn't just become hard, it becomes mathematically impossible, which seems impossible. If we have infinite soldiers, why can't we make it to infinite levels? First, let's figure out how to maneuver one soldier from our tiny chip battalion into level 3. You'll need at least 8 soldiers, but you can do it in just 7 moves. In this configuration, you essentially have 2 separate forces. The left wing repeats what we did in the last game to get a soldier to level 2, and the right wing sets up 2 vaults to get our little Rambo to level 3. You've got to think about it a little bit, but you're gonna get it. For levels 1, 2, and 3, it took 2, 4, and hang on. I gotta make some room here. Hold on. I'm gonna try to move this without ruining everything in the world. For levels 1, 2, and 3, it took 2, 4, and 8 soldiers, and we've got ourselves a nice 2 to the nth power pattern here. Achieving level 4 should be 2 to the 4th power for 16 soldiers. There also seems to be a pattern on the number of moves it'll take as well. If we call the initial number of moves to get to level 1 n, then the level 2 seems to be 2n plus 1. 2 times 1 plus 1 equals 3 moves. Then we'll make n that number of moves and put it into our 2n plus 1 algorithm for 2 times 3 plus 1 equals 7 moves. yeah, all of this works perfectly. Our 2 to the 4th power equals 16 soldiers will take 2 times 7 plus 1 equals 15 moves to reach level 4. Finally, we've got a clean, easy system to get to level 4 and beyond. Right? Wrong! This is where the simulation breaks. We actually need, get this, we actually need 20 soldiers to make it to level 4. Look, slide this back on into here. I don't know why I did that voice. Oh well. Can't take it back. We create the same starting pattern as we used to get to level 3, but it'll end up one level higher. Then we play it out just as before and launch our soldier to save Private Ryan in level 4 of enemy territory. And it takes 19 moves, not the 15 we expected. Everything I assumed was wrong. Our easy rule on soldiers stopped working, yet we still found a way. We didn't have a formula for how many moves we needed, but we got there anyway with a little ingenuity from our 5-star general, me. We conquered level 4. I'm ambitious though, like Genghis Khan and Alexander the Great before me, so what'll it take to extend our Vsauce 2 empire into level 5? 5. This board ends at 4. I guess I gotta make my own board. Sayonara, puny checkerboard. Okay, all right, I did it. Here's my custom board, and the first move that you need to make to get to level 5 is nothing. Nothing works for level 5. It's like trying to invade Russia in winter. Seriously, it's impossible. Impossible. I'll even link you to a website where you can try for yourself. It's so weird. Having a limit of 4 rows seems to make no sense. When I first learned about this, I thought, this makes no sense. We have an infinite number of soldiers and a board of theoretically infinite size. It only took 20 chips to get to level 4, and level 5 isn't that far. How can we not ever even get to level 5? The answer is beauty and taxis. If we mark our target on level 5 with a T, we can mark all the moves around it with an exponent that shows how many steps away that position is. It's the sum of the horizontal and vertical steps to get there. It's the Manhattan number, which stems from taxicab geometry. Just like a taxi in New York City has to drive across a grid, so do we. And as we map out the moves away from our target, we think about the 3 types of possible jumps. Ones that get us closer to the goal, ones that get us further, and ones that are neutral. Conway used this weighting of each cell to, hang on a second, to calculate, I need number file. The mathematical proof of why Conway's soldiers can never make it to level 5 is explained perfectly by Berkeley math professor Zvezda Stankova over at number file 2, and it's 42 minutes long. It's surprisingly easy to follow, and along the way, you'll see how Conway's game depends on the, oh no, depends on, I gotta destroy my beautiful board. Oh well. Depends on the golden ratio, the proportions we see in the natural world, from flowers to the composition of pretty faces. And it pops out of nowhere in the middle of the game. But it turns out we can reach the impossible level 5. Simon Tatham and Gareth Taylor proved that we can get to the 5th row with a board of infinite space, infinite soldiers, and infinite moves, provided we bend the rules a little bit. All you gotta do is manipulate time. You really can go as far down this mathematical rabbit hole as you want, but what started as a simple solo lattice game morphed into a metaphor for both expertise and hope. With nearly everything we do, the first few levels are actually pretty easy, but as we aspire to the more elite tiers, it takes more soldiers, it takes more moves, and a more sophisticated configuration to reach the top. It takes hard work and understanding, and Just when we think we can't go any further, ingenuity and creativity takes us to a place we thought was impossible. On April 12, 2020, we lost one of the greatest mathematical minds of the 20th and 21st centuries to the COVID-19 virus. John Horton Conway was 82 years old. He talked once about an object that existed not just in 3 or 4 dimensions, but in 27-digit number dimensional space. He called it the monster. He said, "These things are so beautiful. It's such a pity that people can't see them." Well, maybe we can't. I can't. But John Conway helped us see the beauty of math in everything. Even something as simple as a checker. And as always, thanks for watching.